stories turn songs into symphonies, events into memories, and lives into legends. In our crowded world, knowing your story cuts through the noise so you can make your mark, whether you want to sell more books, increase profits, or just make a difference. At Sterling & Stone, story is our business. The Story Studio podcast is where we explore ways we can all tell our stories better. And now, with the Story Studio podcast number 6, here's Johnny, Sean, and Dave.
Playing that not at all familiar song.
All right, so welcome to the Story Studio podcast. Those of you in the room have already heard this. So we're here at the Smart Artist Summit for anybody who's not here live with us, and we're talking about how your community can tell your story for you, and that's really appropriate because we're here with our community, with our peeps. And
say hi.
What's really cool about this is it's like a big reunion. I was circulating earlier and just talking to people, and there's so many people. I mean, we don't know each and every one of you, but you're part of our community, and there are a lot of people that, like, at this point now, like, hey, there you are. You know, it's like a reunion.
So many familiar faces. Yeah.
So we talked in the last episode about how you tell your brand story. So this is about how the people out there in the world are telling your story for you. And specifically, that's what we want to talk to a few of them today. And as with Sterling & Stone as an example, how is our story being told?
Yeah, and the point that we made last time, that was the episode where Dave was driving here, so he wasn't on it. And
I'll listen to it.
I'm sure you will. And oh, is that mine? Thanks. So people are talking about you whether you like it or not, whether you want them to or not. Everybody's saying things about you, and it's not just what they're saying in their reviews. It's what's in the back of their head. And all of you guys have opinions about us one way or another, and you kind of have you see us a very certain way, and there's a certain way that we all
Dave's first time with a microphone.
You're doing good, son. So what we thought would be fun is we picked 5 people because we put a full 2 minutes into preparing this, and before we were, diligently attacking that 2 minutes, we thought, who should we do? We should. That's not what we said. That's not what we said at all.
That's what she said.
We said, who should we bring up here to kind of talk to? And we have a nice little mix of people who have not known us very long and people who have known us for a while. And I think, we're not ready to bring up the first person. Are we vamping a little bit?
I think we're vamping a little bit. Let's call it out, though, so it's clear.
So the first person,
this is the part where we vamp.
Yeah, well, the first person can mentally prepare because I think it's going to take her a couple of minutes anyway. But this is somebody who, I just learned this story. I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but this is like one of my favorite things I have ever heard.
I was going to save this one. I had an order in mind. Okay. But the person I had first is not a her. So that would screw everything up. I know that you're not talking about my person unless something dramatic has happened.
This is a type of preparedness.
I was going to save
2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
There's a reason. There's one that we kind of, for a very specific reason, I feel like that's a story worth building up to. And
all right.
So, but basically, like I said, people are telling our story, and sometimes we hear our story from other people, and it's really neat, and it's really humbling, and it's really cool to talk to somebody and say, usually after a few drinks, this is usually when it comes out, man, you made this difference for me, sometimes good. And that was a joke, but sometimes good, sometimes bad. And that's a story that's being told, and it's told to us, which is not something we, normally it's between you guys, but we get to hear that story coming directly to us. And that's the one I had in mind first, is somebody who not that long ago told this story to us. Could you?
Well, a really good example is Danielle Corley. Danielle, where are you? Oh, she loves us so much she's not here. Okay, so, there she is. I'm sorry, Danielle. I know how you feel, but everybody's looking at me right now, so it's okay. Danielle, every year she has brought just something very sweet, including a wallet that says "bad motherfucker" on it. I really like it. I don't keep any money in there, but I look at it.
It's his decoy wallet.
It's awesome. It is my decoy wallet. And this year she brought this. It's awesome. It says, all right, all right, all right. Lord McConaughey, see? And then the inside says, sometimes when you're awesome and you've given a lot of your time, energy, and effort to people, they just come to expect it and forget to say thanks. I recognize what you've done for me. Thank you. Now go be awesome again.
Excuse me, and on the back it says, no, just kidding, fuck you, big nose.
Dave says...
No, don't read Days. It's going to be
That
dark.
wasn't blood on the blanket. That's all it says.
Yeah.
All right. So
can I make that call, or were you?
well, just that's why we do this. The very first summit that we did was like kind of just a blind shot. It was, hey, we want to do this thing. We want to have an event, and I mean, at the time it was Amy, make it happen. Like that was pretty much the entire. That was our 2 minutes of prep for the first summit, and so. That whole idea was just we just want to get to know our community in person. We'd never done anything like that, and we'd done little tiny events, but we thought it was time to do something bigger and look you guys in the eye and find out how we could develop a better relationship. And now we're in year 3, and it's becoming like the thing that we do each year. And we have some big ideas for where this is going, and we've looked at this year. This year is like the end of our first trilogy. This is our 3rd year, and we all understand trilogies in this room, right?
Someone is going to die.
One of you murdered my daughter. And so, we are closing something and starting something new, and it's really wonderful to see all of you, and it's really wonderful to have the individual conversations. And the next 2 days is going to be a fog, like it just always is. And then
Are you going to be smoking early?
I wish. I really, really wish somebody would just hand me something right now. But I'll have my water, thank you. Who does? So I'm just, the next couple of days will be a fog, and then we'll be on the other side of it, and I will sit in my think tank, and I will be thinking about all of you, not in that way, except you, Joel. And I will be thinking about conversations and words and things that impacted me and changed me in some way or another. So just thank you all for whether you drove here, from Dallas or flew here from Australia. Just thank you very much for spending time with us. It's very meaningful to us. We look forward to this all year. Well, 2 out of 3 of us look forward to this.
I don't.
All 3.
I hate
he
you
doesn't.
all.
Stay tuned for worst show ever.
He's actually such a pain in the ass the last month. I don't think it's ever been worse. But he's here and he loves you. No, actually, he hates you, but he's here. And we love you, and that's going to be enough. So anyway.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, like Milo said.
Right. I mean, if it was 2 and 3 in baseball, I think that's good, right, you guys? Right? Yeah. All right.
All right. Hey, Ernie. Get up here. Okay, so get up here. You're our guest. You're our podcast guest today. So,
How did you even know I was going to be here right now, like not at the bar?
because I
We
was
just saw
looking
you.
and I can see you.
2 minutes. We had 2 minutes to survey
Ernie's
the
drunk
room.
already.
You're not invisible.
So the reason I thought of Ernie, and it's not like we put vast amounts of
This
preparation
is
into
way
this.
more sober than our last conversation.
Happening.
Neither did we 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We're barely
20 minutes ago,
coherent
we
here.
didn't know it either.
20 minutes ago, I was in his basement for the Finding Dave episodes.
The reason I thought to bring Ernie up is because we were like, you go, Ernie, and you do the thing, and he said, well, the last time we were at a bar in Tampa, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like the opening line to a joke. We were at the line
it is in Florida.
A bar in Tampa. It's the opening to an epic story of some sort. It does kind of end there with
There's no story.
with David Gaughran somehow putting away Irish amounts of whiskey. That guy.
Yes.
And,
I don't think he ever stopped.
No, I don't think he did. He's like, I'm going to the bar, and he's
He may
perfectly
have
coherent.
been stopped, but that's different.
But when we were in that bar in Tampa, Ernie, you kind of told us, you were like, because you had the drunk sincerity going on,
Yes.
right?
He
You know how
doesn't
that
remember
gets
a word of it.
And you,
That's always there, though.
so why don't you tell us the story of Like, what story would you tell about Sterling and Stone? And we haven't rehearsed this, so he may say some really heinous shit right now.
Yeah, and if you're one of the remaining 4, say heinous shit. It's fine. We're live.
Can we pause the recording? Is this being recorded right now?
Yeah.
Don't talk
we
about the
can't-
body in the trunk.
Can we pause? Can we freeze all these people? So, what are you wanting to know again? You're seeing. This is totally
Good call,
wrong.
Johnny.
This is a total surprise here. So,
Yeah, it was good getting Ernie up here first.
What do you,
good thinking,
Go
John.
sit
what do
down,
you
Ernie.
tell people about Sterling and Stone? What people ask you how to, I don't know. What about this Sterling and Stone company? I don't know anything about them.
How much do
what's
you
their
love us?
story?
That's what he wants you to say. How much you love us.
I will be brutally honest. I
hate
tell no one anything about Sterling and Stone. I don't. and I remember just hold on a second, okay?
Get him off the stage.
Relax before he's gonna kill me again. I still have the decoy, the thing.
Decoy
Yes,
Ernie?
dildo.
Yeah.
It's called a dildo, Ernie.
Yeah. Yes. No,
It's both.
Who yelled fleshlight?
You've invited
Raise
a
your
guy.
hand.
Carol.
Of course.
You've invited a person up to this table who, for at least 2 months, thought your initial project was Roman Sands, not Realm and Sands.
Oh, so did Dave.
Yeah, and I remember I sent you a tweet or a Facebook message. I was like, I looked all over for Roman Sands, and you said, we get that a lot. We bought all the domains and are redirecting them
we
or
do
something
own
like that.
RomanSands.com.
Yeah. Yes.
We also own Publisher Pete.
These guys have they have 10,000 a month bill to GoDaddy or something with all the domains.
Oh,
they own
it's
just to
high.
redirect to Sterling and Stone now.
I actually know somebody who owns over 10,000 domains, and she renews. It's crazy.
Is it the same person that did the $60,000 of online courses last year?
No.
No.
Sadly, it's not.
Okay.
I know a lot of really broken people.
Yes. So I don't talk about Sterling and Stone to people because that's not how I know you guys. I know you guys from the Self-Publishing Podcast. So I get, and probably several of you in the room get this a lot because you might be in smaller towns. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and there's not a huge writing community there.
Or a reading community, I hear.
Yeah, yes, they read a lot. There are some writers there, but I don't know them. They don't like me because I market things. I guess I try to sell books. They don't like that, but
You're getting all uppity there.
No, that's not it. I just I work on an island, and a lot of you probably get that. This is about as social as it gets writer-wise. But now and then, about once a month or so, I get referred, people refer friends to me for advice on how to write books or publish books or market books or whatever.
Or hide about
And so
it.
I'm happy to sit down with them for a couple of hours and, walk them through what I do. But I usually refer them back to the Self-Publishing Podcast.
That's a mistake. You should send them to Mark Dawson's podcast. Or
I also
much better.
I also send them to Mark Dawson's podcast.
That's a pro move.
I send them to Reedsy.
Also smart.
Yeah, and so, but no, that's usually what I talk about with you guys doesn't have to do with Sterling and Stone. It has to do with the Self-Publishing Podcast because we kind of all started at the same time. And I told you guys this at the bar in Tampa. I found you because I was finding my way through this around 2011, and then I was Googling self-publishing stuff, and your podcast come up. Very good job, by the way, with the SEO. But
Thank you.
Your podcast.
Last
came
time
up.
you told me that it was way more slurrier.
It was way slurrier. Well, it's early, but that's how I found you guys. And going through the episodes and catching up that year, I was like, oh, that's why this happened with Amazon, and that's why this happened. And then I started learning from you guys, and so it was a really good tool to sort of push me, to where I am today, which is a full-time author. And I just bought a house this week.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm a very emotional person, so I may start crying.
Awesome.
But,
Dave's gonna be really happy.
But I told Dawson this, and I told Blatch and Dyer this, and I told Nick Stevenson this, but I'm telling you guys this too. SPP was part of how I was able to buy a nice house for my 2-year-old daughter in a very nice neighborhood in Chattanooga, and it's awesome. And yeah, I'm tearing up, and I'm trying not to look like a big freaking pussy, but
all right, Johnny, good choice.
But so I don't talk about Sterling and Stone because that's not how I know you guys, and I know that's like your company and whatever. But
no, that's a perfect answer, dude.
Okay.
But that's actually a good example because we don't control what people say. We want people to talk about Sterling and Stone.
And clearly you don't plan the guests that you're going to have up, or at least you don't let them know.
No.
Yeah, that they're, Ernie, come on up.
I told you we planned 2 minutes. That's a plan.
It was good. It was good.
It's
well
a lot
planned.
of planning for us.
So when do I leave the table?
You can leave now.
Go, you're out of here. Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you.
And seriously, congratulations on the house. That's awesome.
No, thank you guys, and thank you for having all of us along this journey, because it's definitely been part of my success and a lot of other people's success, and I really appreciate it. So, and I will find Redacted.
I'll tell you
For
later.
those of you that don't know, Ernie did a video series where he was looking for me in Florida.
It's like The Simpsons. You can follow the clues if you know where the target is, that they lick their fingers, if you know
That's
where
all
that
of them,
guy
though.
is. Where did the reality split into its branches? All right, so now we can do the one that I think you were thinking of.
Oh, I'm
This
so
is-
excited about this one.
Yeah, now the fun part about this is that people, they might not want to come up, but what are you going to do?
Oh,
right?
this person's not going to want to come up even a
No,
little
without
bit.
question.
But it'll be really entertaining for you guys, and that's really what matters, right?
Who are we going to embarrass next?
Well, I just love this story. I don't know if I heard it yesterday or the day before, but it's just my favorite. I think this person probably, their heart is beating really fast right now, and they're like, uh-oh, I think they might be talking about me. And yes, we are. If you have been doing a lot of work with us lately after buying a Stories to Go package, and yet you entered our funnel
Wait, don't
in
blow
an
the
unusual
punchline.
way, please come up to the stage.
And are hiding.
You are right now hiding
possibly
over there in
on the
corner.
Can we
floor.
get a spotlight?
Johnny will let you have his wine.
Who flew around the world for spontaneous embarrassment?
Yay!
That's okay. You can prove to your husband that you are here. So this is good.
Right.
This is Juliet. And Juliet, why don't you tell us as you feverishly sip your alcohol to calm your nerves?
And give her another round
Yes.
of applause.
And get her another round.
Yeah. And just real quick to frame this.
Whatever this pink thing is, we're gonna need another one.
3 more.
Yes.
In triplicate.
Yes.
Julia is as... go ahead. You intro.
Well, Julia came into our lives very fast. It was like all of a sudden, I want all the stories to go, and I want Stone Table and come in. I want to show up at the signature events,
She asked
and I
if
want to be
Stories
your
to Go
big.
had a bulk discount.
I want to be your biggest evangelist. And then so we were at the Stone Table dinner the other night, and she happened to mention how she entered our funnel, how she came to us. And most people are like, well, I've been listening to SPP for 6 years, and they finally wooed me in, and then I bought Write, Publish, Repeat, and then I was slowly bamboozled into buying something bigger. And so why don't you tell everybody how you encountered us first?
Well, so I used to listen to writers that I thought would help me with my career. So I was listening to Joanna Penn, and she happened to have Sean on, and so I Googled the guys, and they've got their list of podcasts, and I read through the list, and the one that sounded the best was Worst Show Ever. So,
She has taste.
yeah.
I love that she listened to Worst Show Ever and said, I trust these people with my money. And not only that, but after she spent money and had to explain it to her husband, she played episodes of Worst Show Ever to justify her decision.
And did he leave you?
He didn't get it at first.
What? What's wrong with him?
I know. But it didn't take long. I think I've been forgiven.
It was the very Davy Christmas, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Is that what both sold you and got you forgiven?
It was the bear.
Yeah. But see,
In all seriousness, so we joke about this because we do think this is amusing, but what was it about encountering us on worst show ever? I mean, because there's more to the story. It's not like worst show ever, let's buy stories to go. Like, I mean, it would be funnier if that were the case, but it's not. So there are some intervening steps.
that's the case in my head. That's
how
the story
did that?
I tell myself.
How did this? What was the process there? Like, why did you decide you were going to work with us? I know. She'll never do it again. Tell us about that.
What was the question again?
What? Why? How did you go from seeing worst show ever to deciding you wanted to work with us?
Oh, well, that was just chance. So I think I'd run out of worst show ever, and
Did you feel like an empty void?
and I wasn't ready to. I think you've only got some Better Off Undead. But anyway, I started listening to the podcast, and you had boot camp, which was starting the following Monday. So I enrolled, and then I started listening to self-publishing podcast.
So wait, you
by
enrolled
vodka.
in boot camp before you started the actual podcast? I don't think I caught that part.
No. I think I listened to 1 or 2 episodes, and that's when you said, like, you have to enroll by Sunday at whatever time, and it was already Monday, our time. Yeah.
Got it. All right, so you hopped right on that, and then...
Well, you seem to know what you're talking about in boot camp.
Not worst show ever.
No, not worst show ever. No. You barely seem to do life in worst show ever. But no, on boot camp, you guys seem to know what you're talking about. So
I'm glad we have it somewhere.
yeah, me too.
How many times had you tried to write books beforehand? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, a few, about 6. I think I've officially got 4, but I've actually got 6 books that are about 30,000 words that are all crap or all fell apart. And at the end of boot camp, they mentioned stories to go, and I don't know, then you were supposed to have some 45-minute thing on stories to go, but you didn't until the next day.
That sounds
Yeah.
characteristic. I don't remember. No problem believing that, though.
So I watched that, and then I thought, oh my God, I've missed out. So I had that whole thing, and logged on and bought one, read another, bought another one.
Yeah, Julia does not like compliments, and she doesn't like them publicly,
Yeah,
but I'm
no.
about to publicly compliment her because the reason she's up here, A, because it's hilarious that she found us through Worst Show Ever. She is like just a prototypical smarter artist. Not only did she come in and say, I want to participate in this thing, but she did all the work. Her first book's already done. And that's what I love about this room so much. It's what I love about coming together once a year, is because the people in this room do the work. And it's great to dream. I love dreaming. I'm very fond of dreaming, but you have to have the...
Especially in a bubble bath.
I do. I have no problem admitting that. 12 o'clock every day. Well, there's no bubbles, but it's a bath and it's hot. And I do, I just really appreciate when it's not just about dreaming, but it's about sitting in the chair and doing the work. And Julia has absolutely done all of the work. And I just love seeing that. And I love that you met us the way that you met us. And that was my favorite story at dinner. So thank you. You can go sit.
All right,
Thank you.
You can go sit back down. Thank you. Thank you
so
very
much.
much. Anybody who's not using their drink coupon, get Juliet another one of those. All right. So, do you want me to roll with the next one here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the next one's actually over at the same table.
Ooh, they're clustered.
I know they're clustered. And this is, you talk about doing the work and implementing and taking something that may have been said at a previous gathering and really rolling with it. Christy, I'm talking to you. Why don't you come on up? So a little while ago, Christy attended one of the Stone Table sessions, And we started talking about what we call the production model, which is working with other writers. And then she came to this one and she said, well, I started working with 4 other writers. And we said, okay, we need to embarrass you on stage.
Well, we didn't decide that till our 2-minute prep.
Yes.
Oh.
So how did you come to Sterling and Stone? How did you come to the Self-Publishing Podcast, which is another Story Studio podcast? And what stories have you told people about us, or do you have in your head, that sort of thing?
So Self-Publishing Podcast was definitely my intro there. So I started writing 2015, and I wanted to absorb everything. So Googling self-publishing, you guys popped up. So I listened.
It's that SEO.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing how that works. So yeah, I absorbed everything I could. And just, I guess through time, I got more involved in your funnel. I read Write, Publish, Repeat, Iterate and Optimize, all of that. And then it was almost by chance that I opened up the email around this time last year, a little bit, I guess a few months later, about Stone Table. And it was, I think it was like, oh, it was like the last one, like last call email. And I was like,
That worked on Julia, too.
There's a pattern here.
Wait, is this... I may be remembering this wrong, so I do that all the time. But did you say... Because we totally fucked up that launch. Like, it was the worst thing ever. We did so many things wrong, and it's really stupid.
No.
but I think that were you the one you said, I have no idea what I just bought, but I trust you guys?
No.
Okay, well... A few people did say that.
No, that wasn't me. But yeah, so I almost missed it, and then I clicked on it, and it was almost like an impulse thing. And so yeah, I came to the table, and it was hands down best decision I have ever made, ever.
Well, okay.
In my writing career.
Yeah, thank you for that. But again, as with Julia, it's all about doing the work. You know, she came and we were talking about the production model. And, you know, one of my favorite things is aha moments. I love when I can see an aha moment on somebody's face live. I live for that stuff. And you got a great aha face. I got another one from you today. That was awesome. But she was talking about this, and she really said, okay, well, this is a way I can totally change the way I'm doing everything. I found a way now I can scale my brain, because I can only write so much. What are you guys doing with the production? So we kind of broke it down, and we actually, that email funnel, right?
Yeah, it was the Dread Pirate Robert.
Yes, okay,
email funnel.
So
Yeah.
and she's like, I'm so excited to do this. 2 weeks later, she's already completely mobilized and doing that. And then this is our next event. She comes in, and now she's working with 4 authors. She's got her production model going, and I think got another big, what I love is that I know the stuff we talked about with Christy today. When we see you in a few months, you're already going to be rolling with that. And that's exactly it. It's really important that you make those goals, you know, and then you actually do the little things that make them happen. Again, it's great to dream, but have a big dream and then have like 19 little dreams that'll get you to the big one. Thank you, Christy.
Yeah.
I think you are wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, I got the next one. This is a gentleman who has been at all 3 of our events. I think he may have called me puerile at one point, but it wasn't even an insult. This is somebody
It was
who...
affectionate,
It was
puerile.
very, very
Kind
affectionate.
of like when you lovingly call somebody a motherfucker. It's great.
This is somebody who I think has a very different world outlook, maybe, but a lot of respect for what we do. And I think because of that, his story will be really interesting. Again, totally not rehearsed, 2 minutes of intro, but Parker.
Parker Hudson. Come on, man. It's kind of like The Price is Right.
A little bit. Come on down! Yeah.
You guys who aren't on video can't see that he's wearing a "Call Me, Sean" shirt.
Are you a Bob Barker or a Drew Carey guy?
Definitely Bob Barker.
Drew Carey all the way.
No. I'm an OG. I used to watch with my grandma back in the day.
Drew Carey's got those glasses.
Back when Bob Barker was not letting his hair go away. Anyway,
So
Go ahead.
Well, Parker, do you want to tell us your story? How did you come across us? How do you tolerate us? Kind of things.
You guys are great. I started writing, as you know, 25 years ago in the real estate business, but had a vision for writing novels and started back long before any of this was possible, back in the old days of agents and publishers. I'm a real estate guy, but wrote a novel 25 years ago that is a spiritual warfare novel with demons and angels warring over a family. And thanks to the new technology and guys, all of you in this room and the things that we do, here I am at age 70 with the new generation of people reading these books because of Kindle and Facebook. And people are still writing me emails today saying that these books have changed their lives. So it doesn't get any better than that. So how I came to you guys, and you guys are the best, you're great, is
Thank
that
you. Thank you.
Well, I had to keep alive the publishing. Thomas Nelson, when they finished publishing On the Edge, my first novel, sent me, and I have in my attic, Kodak prints. I mean, they're negatives from the offset printing that they did, and said, here's your book back. And with these films of all these, each page, and that's easy to work with.
There's an app for that, right?
Yeah, yes, there's an app, Kodak to draft to digital. Anyway.
You guys working on that API?
So here I was. So for 20 years, I kept these books alive that had been originally published by Thomas Nelson or Multnomah, and that meant, sending $5,000 off to Michigan, and 4 weeks later, 30 cartons would arrive at the bottom of the driveway, and schlep them into the house, send them off. Anyway, I'll speed up. So, and all that got me $1 a book, maybe. And so then with the new world that we're all in, thanks to indie publishing, and about 6 years ago, I started looking around for how does this all happen. And as others have said, Googled you guys, and
we owe Google like a thank you card or something.
Yeah.
Thanks, Google.
You and Joanna Penn and Nick Stevenson and Mark Dawson, the four of you, are, in my opinion, the gold standard. If you just listen to those 4 podcasts.
Not worst show ever.
Parker, have you ever listened to an episode, even one?
No.
No, I think I'm about to. I do have an issue, but I will. Anyway. Anyway, so you guys have encouraged me to just start over again, and so now I have 2 self-published books that have nothing to do with the previous publishers. You guys have encouraged not only me but all of us to be the best we can be, and I have a deep faith, and so what I would say to all of you is, fiction has the power to transform people, not just entertain them. Yes, we all want to entertain them in whatever genre we're writing in, but fiction, because it can grab the emotion, and you can take people down a trail with a character and then have a reveal that they weren't ready for, that can literally and permanently transform people. And so I would just encourage all of us to consider that as we're writing our fiction, that we think of Aesop's fables, think of Christ's parables. People remember stories long after they've forgotten, pages and pages of statistics on some issue or the other. But they remember. Dave
forgets the stories too, though.
Well, anyway, so we're in we have a opportunity, a responsibility to really transform people. So thank you guys for making the platform that makes that transformation more readily available. So God bless you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And please clean up your act.
We'll work on it.
Thank you. Parker abides us. Like he tolerates us despite our failings, and we love him for it.
Thank you, Parker.
So our last guest is, I'd like to invite our old friend Tara Jacobson up here. Largely because she brought me this glass of wine. So thank you. Yay! There are other reasons.
Tell us all about the wine story.
It's not that interesting with the wine story. All right, so yeah, I want to check on something. Why don't you handle that?
Well,
Okay.
Well, Tara, I mean, the thing about Tara is that she helped us a lot with some social media stuff that we had totally dropped the ball on a couple years ago. She came in, overhauled all of our social media, said, I'm getting this in shape for you guys, now you guys do it, and then we didn't do anything, and it was awesome. But that's okay. The thing about Tara is you're almost at this point, when you listen to the show, you're not necessarily trying to start an indie career at all. You're kind of just listening to it for, I don't know, like a show that you enjoy and some incidental knowledge. And I think you were more interested in books in the beginning, but you kind of are a rare specimen where you listen every week, but for no apparent reason, right? So, I mean, that's the thing. I get
we talking about worst show ever? Or?
No, that's the thing. It's actually
self-publishing.
Self-publishing, and I'll get an email from Tara, and I can tell she's listening to all the current shows because that's great that you're changing to the Story Studio podcast. Good for you. Like, it's regular emails, and so. How did you come across us? Because I actually don't know this story. And why do you still listen?
So I came across you guys. We were writing books, and we're getting back into writing books. So that's why I'm excited to be here, or actually doing the what's the one after Write, Publish, Repeat? The other one.
Iterate and Optimize.
That one. We're doing that now. But the reason why I listen to you is because I am a nonfiction author. And I don't have that story. I don't have that narrative and things like that. But listening to you guys allows me to kind of do some of that storytelling in the nonfiction world where I would have none of that if I was just living in my boring marketing world. And the other half of it is all you guys. I've made friends with you all. I have lots of people that I meet with. You guys are so interesting and so passionate and so neat to be around.
All of them? There's got to be some people who aren't.
Well, there's a few. Okay. Kevin.
Wow.
No, just kidding. And but that's the whole thing is that the tribe that you've built, since you're talking about building a tribe, is everybody isn't super good. They aren't the best in class. Some are best in class, but everybody's so passionate about what they're doing that it's great to be around you guys.
Well, another thing that I love about this community, I agree 100% with everything you said, is that they're really helpful to each other.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You don't have any of that like petty, keyboard behavior. Like there just doesn't exist. You have a lot of supportive stuff. And does anybody here remember that very first, the first summit when Julia Kent was about to speak? Yep. Right? Okay, that's one of my favorite, not just summit moments, it's one of my favorite moments in this space because she had just made USH Day and I think New York Times both, and she had just got the email. She was really excited, and she privately told us, and we pulled a Juliet on her and just said, like, we're gonna publicly embarrass you. You really should announce that. And she did not want to. She was very nervous about that and said, I feel like writers can be really petty and they're not going to celebrate that. And they're like, I don't want to feel the jealous. I just don't. And I said, look, this is
different room.
This is a different
room.
And I said, well, this was the first time she had traveled in, I think, a year. And I said, why are you here? And she says, because you're my people. I said, do you trust me? I trust you. I said, then just tell them, like, let that be your opening. And she did, and the room gave her a standing ovation. And that is our people. That's our people. Like, they want to help. They want to see others succeed. They don't think of it as a zero-sum game where if that person is charting, I can't. And to me, that's magical because there's we should all be committed on trying to get more people to read and more people to experience story, not competing with each other because there's only so much story to go around. That's an absurd notion.
There can be only one Highlander.
Well, not only that, but I love the thing where they can read faster than we can write. Like, they can read faster than we can write, and the more we get them reading, the better. But the last time I was here was the first time. And what you guys don't realize is it was 20 people around 4 tables, and it was amazing then, and this is wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Yay. Now get out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Tara. Thought we had everything together today. We did not. Sorry, Facebook. You guys got part of the show. Guess you'll have to be here next time. Sorry, guys. It
sorry,
kicked you
Facebook.
off. I apologize. So yeah, that's all the people we wanted to embarrass. There's many more people we could call up and embarrass.
Oh,
but,
I want to embarrass more people.
well, I definitely
Is
do
that
want
the
to
only
do
criteria?
that. Well, can we embarrass them without bringing them up? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we could just start pointing.
I would say that we could use Dave's blackmail file, but he lost it when his computer crashed and he did not back it up. Unfortunately.
Or that's what I told you.
That's actually a true story, unless he's messing with us. But yeah, on the way over here, he was telling us some of the blackmail files that he has unfortunately lost.
So anyway, that's basically it for the Story Studio podcast. We will be doing a worst show ever, unfortunately, so that we can attract more people.
Got to keep that funnel tight.
Got to keep that funnel tight. And with that, well, I don't know where I want to go with that. With that, I will just see you guys next week, or for you guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
And right now, we're still
and we'll also see you right now.
My eyes are wide open.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Story Studio podcast. Are you wondering what the ever-growing demand for superb storytelling skills means for your future? Check out our latest interview as Johnny and Sean dive deep into that question in Storytelling is the Future, How to Build on Your Self-Publishing Success. Download the interview from the info box or show notes in YouTube, or head over to sterlingandstone.net/future.